Hi. Good evening, good evening, good evening. So today I thought we'd work a little bit on our groin, stretching out our legs. I don't know about everybody else, but I think I need it. So been on lots of walks and runs and stuff lately, and groin is really aching. I have to apologise in advance. I actually put my dishwasher on a while ago, and I must have hit it to go on timer, so it's now going in the background. And I have got rid of the dog, but only upstairs, so you might occasionally hear a loud bang or bark. But bear with me. We'll get it done. We'll get it sorted. We'll be all right. Okay. So, I'm going to bring our awareness to the mat. So, in a seated position, whatever's comfortable for you. Nice tall back. Rest. Back of your hands on your knees. Just going to spend a minute here. Listening to the sound of my dishwasher. Just allowing the stress of the day to slip away. Okay. Bring your awareness back to the room. And we're just going to come into, again, a seated butterfly. So you bring your feet together and drop your knees down to the side, and then just take hold of your big toes with your thumbs. Cut your fingers so you're holding them together. And just drop those knees and try and stay tall through your crown. You might need to put a block underneath your knees, or a rolled up blanket, or even a block underneath your tail, your buttocks, just to give you a bit more lift. We're going to stay here for a few minutes, and all we're doing is, as we're breathing in and then exhaling, just trying to open those hips even more. So I want you to just focus on your breath. You don't have to close your eyes. Just nice breath in. And then as you exhale, just try and push those legs out even more. Now, if staying like this, whether you've got a block underneath your tail or anything, if staying with a tall back and stretched arms is too much, if you're feeling it in your shoulders or your neck, you can always just bring yourself forward and relax your elbows into your knees. The other good thing about doing kind of a folded seated butterfly is, small stretch in your lower back, but you also can use your elbows to push your knees further towards the floor if you can. If that's still too much, just come up, just hold wherever you can in your legs, wherever your legs may be, just wherever's comfortable for you. So, already been here for 1.5 minutes while I've been gabbing. So just relax yourself. Now, I have to explain why I can't just stop my dishwasher. There's a bit of a problem with it, so I've had to, there's a special cycle that I've got to run. And once it's started, it can't be stopped. Typical. So hopefully it won't be too long. Yeah, that's going on in the background. Okay. Feel free to close your eyes for the last kind of minute here. Relax your hands and just bring the knees back up just for a minute. Just pull up those toes, stretch them out a little bit, and then lift up. So you're lifting your heels off the floor, standing on, well, not standing, but using those toes. Just going to do that just a few more times just to stretch that out. Okay, so we're going to go into a position called double pigeon. And we're basically going to have one knee over, or 1 foot on one knee, and 1 foot underneath the other knee. Now, I can't get my legs down there, so pop a block in, lean on there like that. You may also put a block or a blanket under here. Try and give you a little bit of a lift. Now, if your knee, whichever side you've started on, if your knee can go down and you don't need this block, that's fine. You can just take it out. You can have your knee there. If it touches, that's good. If you can hold that stretch, that's good. If your knee does touch and you feel like you need something more than a blanket under the other side, just pop the block underneath there. Otherwise, we're just here. We're just resting our hands over the legs. Now, this gives you a strong stretch through the hips, all the way around the sides. You should feel it, and probably just in the lower back as well. You might even feel it around the front in the groin. If this is too much with you leaning slightly forward, you can always just lean back. If you're going to do that, turn your palms so they're facing away from you. Fingers facing away from you. So just rotate the shoulders back and drop the head. You get a slightly different stretch through your hips, but it takes the strain away from the lower back, but it also adds in a different dimension with the stretch in the shoulders. Either will work for the hips. You're just not activating all of the same muscles. It's just a couple which are not being activated as if you were like this. Whichever way you go, it's up to you. Now that you're all nice and comfortable in this pose, and we know what we're doing, we're actually going to swap to the other side because you've been in there now for about 2 minutes. And part of the purpose of me talking is to explain the movements, but also I really think it helps with the passing of time. I was going to say passage of time then as well. Both work? Okay, come on. So we're just going to take our legs the other way. Before we do that, just hunch them in. Switch up on the toes. Switch the toes to you. The toes. Switch the toes to you. Okay. Now this one for me feels a lot tighter. So I've noticed when I'm doing my walks, I'm having a lot more issues down my left leg, round the thighs, in the groin, and actually even kind of coming all the way down the leg into the calf, I think, because I'm altering the way that I'm walking. to help with the bit of pain that I'm getting in the groin. Which is what led me to think about, let's do a nice leg or hip opening session. So I'm really feeling it on this side. Really intense. But not painful. So remember, I always say, it's painful, shouldn't be in it. I should be able to feel the stretch. I can feel it all the way down my leg. I can feel it all the way around my hips, lower back, and my groin. But it's not actually causing you a physical pain. It's like a discomfort, and that's when you get to that discomfort level. That's where you should hold your stretches. If you can go beyond that, and it still just feels uncomfortable, that's fine. If it then starts to actually hurt, or pinch or pull, that's when you need to come back out of it. I thought it was finished then. Okay, about 10 more seconds in this position. Okay, so bring those legs back round. Hook yourself in. Up on the toes. And heels. Back to the toes. And back to the heels. Okay. You take your left leg out to the side. Point your toes up towards the ceiling. And then bring your right leg so that it's in line. So if you were drawing a line, it would run vertically together. Okay. We're going to hold on to our toe or foot if we can. Just stay in this position. Now, this will give you a stretch down the inside of your thigh. And you can, if you wish, lean forward, and it kind of gives you a stretch down the inside and might give you a little stretch on the back. But this is fine here. We're trying to keep the hips planted, and we're keeping our back nice and tall, shoulders away from the ears. But equally, everything is relaxed and loose, no tension anywhere. Sounds like someone's going to come through my ceiling. Everything's engaged though. So if you were to let go, you'd be nice and tall. You would be keeping yourself strong. And you could even, if you want to take this practice at home, you could even go towards your foot, and then you'll get a side stretch as well. But that's not the purpose of today. Okay, relax back. Right leg out in front. Bring your left leg in. I'm just going to swap them round. So, right leg out to the side. Toes up to the ceiling. God, you need clicking. Left leg, toes pointing forward, nice, everything's strong and engaged. And as you sit up, you'll feel that stretch through there. Should have said, I do apologise when we're doing it the other way, if you can't come up and stay seated, and I know I said about going forward, but you can always come to the side. You'll still get a stretch, it just won't be as deep. Or you can get a block and put a block there, and that will help to give you a deeper stretch. But again, keep everything engaged so the toes are up. This foot is engaged, nice and tall through the back and the crown. And everything is nicely aligned. Relax back. Bring both your legs in front of you and grab a strap. Lock the strap around the ball of your feet. Make yourself nice and tall through your back. Shoulders relaxed. And just where you feel a stretch through the back of the legs, just kind of hold it there. As part of your hip flexors, we've got some muscles that come just through the back of the pelvis and over the hip joints. And you need to remember to stretch them as well as part of your hip flexors. If you have a look at the photos I put into the group, then you'll see them. You'll see all the different muscles that are part of the workings of the hips. Okay, relax your hands. Just going to walk myself forward a little bit. And what I want you to do is just lay down by keeping hold of your strap if you can. And just lift your feet just a little bit. Lift the top half of your body. And relax your back down and bring your legs up. Now try and keep your legs straight, but if you need to bend them, that's fine. You need to have your head up. Ideally, you'll have a really loose neck, but okay, make sure your shoulders stay down. But if you can lay down, you can get your legs straight. Tuck your elbows in and bring your legs as high as you can get them. And if you're super bendy and your legs are touching the floor behind you, well done. Make sure the shoulders are staying away from the ears. Actually, someone asked me why I always say that. And what you'll tend to notice, or you might do after this, is if you are tense and straining or stressing, you tend to scrunch up your shoulders and they come closer to your ears. So when you're stretching, if you have your shoulders up by your ears, you're actually taking some of that pressure away, or the stretch away from where you need to feel it. So it's about staying safe, and it's about not injuring yourself in any other place and not carrying the tension in any other place. Because you're trying to, so for example, as we are here, we're trying to work our leg muscles and stretch them all out and stretch the hip out. But if I'm holding everything with my arms, it's not actually my legs that are taking the strain, it's the arms. Whereas if my shoulders are relaxed, my arms are relaxed, it's having to engage my legs to keep them up here, even though I've got a strap on. I've got the strap around my legs. It's just a much better posture. And it also means when you walk away from the practice, where we've worked on our legs, we're not going to have really nice loose legs and then really tight shoulders and neck, because we've just been holding all the tension there and holding all the stretches there. Okay, you're probably all really fed up with your knees like this or your legs like this. So holding onto the straps, just bend those knees slightly. You'll feel that release. Oh, that feels good. Bring your legs out. So you've got a lovely angle going on. Again, hold onto the strap. So imagine if you were bent over this standing up. Everything would be neatly in line. You can see there, my little angles going on. And we're going to take the right foot, put it over the left knee. Keep that alignment. And we're just going to bring the foot. So we're trying to keep the alignment everywhere. We're bringing the foot up. And again, relax the shoulders. Relax the elbows in. You feel a big stretch. You should do along your buttocks. So you should be feeling it along here. So if I show you from this side, it's like along here. You can, if you want to be brave, tuck your right elbow into your right knee and push that knee away from you as you're bringing your foot in. But just remember, you need to have your angles. So everything should be stacked, everything should be looking nice and neat. And even though you're on the floor, try and stay tall through your back and tall through your neck. Okay, relax that leg, relax your foot back into it. Just straighten out for a second. Bend them again, get those lovely angles. This time we're going to go on the left side. So left leg over, and then bring them in. You may only be here. This might be all that you can do, and that's fine. It doesn't matter if that's where you're feeling your stretch, and that's where you're feeling your stretch. Remember to breathe. And in almost every pose we do, you can exhale to try and, well, as you exhale, sorry, you can try and deepen into that pose. There's very few that doesn't work for, but it all depends as well how long you're holding the poses. If you're doing like a flow, then obviously you wouldn't, because you need to be working with the breath. But if you're just holding a stretch, using the breath to help you work in that pose is a really good way of doing it. Okay, straighten the legs out. And just relax them down. I'm just going to take our arms up, just over, just to stretch just a little bit. So I've got a wall I've got a counter behind me. And I can work my hands down so I can keep a nice stretch in my arms. We're just stretching everything just for a minute. Okay, and relax. Okay, taking hold of our strap again. I'm going to take the left foot. Sorry, my strap's all twisted. Strap's going on the left foot. And again, we're going to bend the knee to a nice angle. And then we're going to straighten the right leg. We're going to bring those toes up towards our head. And we've got this lovely angle. We're going to drop our leg down. But we're going to keep the right leg as straight as we can. So we have to keep, if we can, our right shoulder on the floor, arm stretched out, palm up. So everything is in line, my shoulder, my hip, my knee, my ankles, toes, they're all in line. You can also look the opposite way if you wish. Now, if you want to get a slightly deeper stretch, if you take your foot, just rotate it away from you, you will feel a more intense stretch, but you're keeping this left leg here. So you've got a nice stretch across the front, down into the groin. And if you rotate your foot away from you, you'll also feel it down the back of your thigh. Be careful to make sure that it's not pinching on the lower back and that you're keeping your right hip on the floor. Okay, bring that right leg up, left leg up, sorry. Straighten it out. Just lift it up on its own. You want to make it a bit strong. Keep that right foot engaged. You can point away and bring your toes up. That works. I'm going to drop the left leg out. I'm not touching the floor. I mean, some people may be able to. Their flexors might, be that stretchy. But again, I'm keeping the right hip on the floor. I'm keeping everything engaged. I'm keeping it all in line. Okay, bring that leg back up. Just roll over. Just hold it there. Bring that back up. Relax that leg down. Now, if you put both your legs down, your left should feel longer than your right. It's really weird. Okay, tuck your right foot in. Bend that knee. Get that good angle going. Out to the side. Up that leg. Engage the left foot. Now, if needed, you can have a block underneath your knee. So nice and engaged, nice loose shoulders. Part of the reason for holding some of the poses for longer periods of time is because it literally allows you to relax into the position. So you might find as you first enter the asana, the pose, you kind of almost have an expectation of how it's going to feel. So you tense up a little bit, and you don't maybe relax and allow the muscles to stretch as well as they can or as well as they should. So then you hold the pose for a longer period of time and you'll gradually just start to relax into it. So it's really good in like the yin and restorative yoga because it really gets deep down into the deep tissues. Okay, bring your leg back up, straighten that out. Just stretch that again on its own. You can feel this all the way down the back of your leg. And we're going to slowly, gently roll over. Again, you probably feel that all the way down the back of your leg. I'm not going to be here for too long. Your leg back up. Drop your foot down. Hopefully, you both feel like they're the same length now. Okay, let's ease this a little bit. Bend those knees. Bring it up into a happy baby. Now remember, if you can't quite get to this position, you need to be a bit further up. That's fine. But if you can, try and tuck your knees in and have your feet flat. So you're kind of still stacking everything. The other way to think about it is if you were to stick a pole through the bottom of your foot, it should come out through your knee, but like centrally, everything should be nicely aligned. You can also hold your happy baby on the outside. And some people like to rock. Just give a gentle massage over the lower back. Okay, relax those legs. And again, straighten them out. Okay. So we're going to go into a sleeping swan. So we're going to turn over onto our bellies. And while we're going over, bring your left leg, bring it up. So you like this. And then we're just going to lay down over the knee. Just drop our head onto your hands so they're stacked, or you can get a pillow, just drop it there. All depends how much you're able to get over or how far down you can get. You can also put a block in between to take away any of the pressure. We're really kind of getting that foot inside. And if we can, leaning over. Oh, giving myself cramp. That's not very good. Ugh. I think the perils of live streaming. Okay, we're going to swap sides. So come back up onto your hands, up your toes, just into plank, just push back, drop the hips a little bit, and then bring the right leg forward. So the same thing with the right leg forward. We're trying to make sure that we don't go over. So if you need a block or anything underneath to give you support, that's fine. You're going to stack your hands. And you're just going to rest your forehead on your hands. Okay, come back up onto your hands. Tuck the toes, the left leg under. Slide that leg out. Plank. Drop the hips. Now, before we actually relax down, take your toes so that they are just outside your mat. Drop your groin, just straighten out those feet. Just going to be here. Now, if you can't have your legs that far apart, that's fine. You can bring them in closer. If you're finding that the bend in your back is too much, just come down a little bit. Try and keep the elbows in. You can even just go on to the foot. So you'd be kind of like in a spread sphinx, as opposed to up here, which is more of a seal. But again, it's a really big bend on the back. Okay, onto your hands and knees, and then just bring your feet together Just drop down. And when we're in this position, it is tempting, and I do it myself, and I have to try and correct myself, to put your head all the way down, but actually it should be your forehead that you're putting on the mat. And it just gives you a deeper stretch, especially across the chest and your shoulders. So if you can get your forehead down, that's fine. If you can't, you can always put a block and just rest on that block. And again, if you can't get your buttocks down to your heels, you could put a block or a blanket underneath, and that will support you, whichever way is comfortable. Okay, up onto all fours, and we're going to drop down onto our left side. Cross over your legs, so your legs are tucked. So your left leg is straight, so your toes pointing. Your right leg is twisted around it. So just twist as much as you can. You may not be able to get all the way. And then we're going to lay down, if you can. And we're going to twist our shoulders to the right. Now you might be able to get your arms all the way out and down. You might have your left arm out. You might one there. But you should just get a slight stretch around the front, and then maybe a bit of a twist across, a stretch across the back. You can also hold this leg down if you need to. And to come out of it, we're just going to come back onto our back, untwist the legs, move back over on the mat, twist the other side, roll over, and then come back. Ugh. I haven't got as much twist on this side, but it doesn't feel like anyway. Like I'm going to roll backwards again. Ugh. That's going better. Just find your balance. Okay, come back, so roll onto your back and twist those legs. We're just going to take a quick stretch up. So point the toes away from you, lift your arms up and over, stretch them out. Have everything engaged. Bring your knees up. Hug it in. And then drop your knees to the left. then I want you to bring your shoulders over to the left just a little bit, and then drop and look to the right. And try and drop that right shoulder all the way down. Now if you can't get the stretch across the shoulders and you kind of feel that you're a bit more like this, you can always again blanket, bolster, cushion, block underneath the right shoulder to help give you some support. If your legs are up, again you can put something underneath here to give you that support. That is comfortable, whatever you need. When you inhale, you're going to lift your legs back up. So inhale up. Bring your shoulders back to the middle. And you're going to drop them down to the right hand side. You're going to bring your shoulders in just a little bit and then drop to the left. So again, if you need something under your shoulder, or if you need it under your knees, or even sometimes some people can get one knee down and not the other. So if you need anything kind of in between, again, that's fine. Okay, just about 30 more seconds here. And we're going to ease ourselves into Shavasana from this. And after all these big, deep stretches, it's going to be good. Okay, inhale, bring the knees back up. Relax them down. Oh, bring your shoulders back in. Just going to take one more big stretch. Just point the toes, arms up and over. Okay, relax those arms. So if you want to grab your blankets and your cushions, just mind to be far away. I'm just going to get some water. So I've got my pillow. So get yourself nice and comfy. Now, because we've done a lot of work on the groin, I'm going to have my cushion there, or my eye pillow there. I'm going to put my hand like this. Allow your feet to drop to the side. as you're breathing, just feel the rise and fall of your abdomen, your diaphragm. If you have your hands down by your side, just notice the sensation of the rising and falling. If you have your hands like me, you're slightly touching, and just feel that movement under your fingers. Now on your next exhale, really sigh it out. Just return to normal breath. And on your next exhale, really sigh it out. I'm going to do that again, but this time we're going to take a deeper breath in first, and then when we sigh out, we're going to hold at the end of our sigh for just 1 or 2 seconds, and then allow the breath to return to normal. So deep breath in, sigh it out, hold there, and return to normal. And I'll do that again. Deep breath in, sigh it out, hold it there, and return back to normal. Now as you're breathing in, I want you to imagine that your body is relaxing. Every in-breath, you are relaxing. Starting at your toes, working through your feet, through the heels and into the ankles. A relaxing, melting sensation is travelling up your legs, reaching your knees. Continuing on through the thighs, to the groin region, through the hips, your fingers feel like they're melting and relaxing. Your hand and your thumbs, sensations travelling through the wrists, down the arms, going through the elbows, travelling the upper arms to the shoulder blades. And extending beyond the hips, taking that sensation of relaxation through the abdomen. Towards the diaphragm, through the lungs, into the ribs, into the chest, up over the clavicles, and the rest of the shoulders. That sensation travels through the neck, through the jaw, over through the cheeks, past the eyes, through the forehead, out the crown. Just notice how you feel now, relaxed and free. There's no tension, there's no stress. It's just you, your breath, and universal energies. It's just calm and tranquility. Okay, slowly bring your awareness back to your body. If you've got your arms to the side, just swing them up over your head. If you've got your arms on your side, just lift them up and over your head. Bring your toes to point towards you and push your toes away. Bring your hands and your knees together. Bend. Hug that energy in. Drop over to one side. Tuck your hands under your cheek. Okay, and when you're ready, keeping your eyes closed, come back up into seated. Nice and tall through the back, palms together, thumbs to heart center. Slowly blink your eyes open as you place a smile upon your face. From my heart to yours, namaste. Well, hopefully you enjoyed today's practice, and I can go and rescue my children from my very overexcited puppy at being allowed upstairs and in the bedrooms. But I love you all, and I will see you later.